Here today to represent Cobase, and our assumption is always that we think from the corporate treasurer's mind. So we're looking at to solve actual pain points for corporate treasurers, and these pain points typically are in the area that you need to deal with more than one bank. You are struggling with manual downloads from the banking portals, manual uploads into banking portals. Perhaps you are looking to streamline the payment function of your company. You might be struggling with different payment types that you need to take care of, different formats. Connectivity between your banking portals and the ERP systems, and visibility and control over the approval flows. Typically, these are topics that we solve for our corporate treasurers. Now, the big question to ask yourself as a corporate treasurer or a cash manager is whether this is something that you should take care of within your treasury teams. Is it something that you take care of? Should you hire more consultants, or should you relay this responsibility to your IT teams? And then again, it's very much a question whether they can handle this complexity. As said, this is a very complex playing field. If we look at the needs that the corporate treasurers do have, then the starting point always is cash visibility and control over that cash, so control over the payments. Companies and treasurers, cash managers want to do this as efficient as possible. And in the meanwhile, typically they would like to reduce the operational risk profile of their operations. Now, looking at the companies that we are working for, typically they have between 5 and 50 bank relationships. And if you're dealing with that many banks, typically you have a multitude of that in actual bank accounts. If you don't have any technological solution in place, you are forced to deal with multiple bank portals, multiple ERP systems, and multiple financial services that all need to be covered. And typically each of these services have their own unique user administration, their own security tokens, their own logic for authorizations and workflows. Typically they all come with their own independent audit trailing, so from a security perspective there's always will be gaps in your audit trail, and that's something that we can solve for you. Now, looking at this playing field, the result is that this is a very inefficient operation. It's costly and it includes many risks. And this is where Cobase comes in play. Companies need, as said, efficient cash visibility, payments and control. They need so in a multi-bank context, and without any technological solution in place, it's pretty likely this can become messy. So what Cobase offers is this all-in-one multi-banking as a service solution, where the Cobase platform takes care of the bank connectivity. And this is not just a statement, we take this really to the next level, it's a fully managed bank connectivity service. The platform also includes a payment hub, and for specific companies we've also included additional treasury management modules, and here you can think of FX modules, so you can execute FX transactions through the platform, in-house banking, cash pooling, and for example, liquidity forecasting. Important point I'd like to make on this slide is that we are regulated by the Dutch Central Bank, which is a pretty unique feature for a software company. And this gives, of course, this has many benefits for our clients, but the key benefit here is that we offer bank equivalent IT security. This is the Cobase solution in one diagram. If you don't have any solution in place, then typically you are confronted with the situation on the left-hand side, where you are confronted with many one-on-one relationships, either between the ERP systems of your company and the different banks, and the individual employees and the different banks. Now, with the Cobase platform in place, we change that landscape to the neatly organized situation that you see on the right-hand side, where each financial service provider, for example, an ERP system, and individual employees have access to the Cobase platform, and from the platform you have access to account information at all banks, account information for cash visibility and payment purposes. As said, a single point of access to account at all banks. Starting point here is cash visibility. So our GUI includes dashboards. I will show them in the demo part of the presentation. It includes handling of payments, ERP connectivity, and a single central user administration for user rights across banks. And this is a pretty big feature for the platform, because without the Cobase platform in place, you would need to take care of this on an individual bank and bank connection level. The Cobase platform is easy to implement, very friendly to use, fully cloud-based, and very light on the client's IT infrastructure. A few words on the banks that we cover. Today, Cobase offers a well-established footprint of connected banks already. We have over 350 bank connections live in over 70 countries, and this number is increasing really on a daily basis. We have off-the-shelf bank connections available to our clients for direct use. Again, a very much operational benefit of using the Cobase platform. Now taking a look at the actual platform itself, it's fully cloud-based, so you have a online login portal. Always two-factor authentication, and this would be a typical landing page to the Cobase platform. So in this screen, what you see here, for example, are your account balances aggregated across companies, across countries, across currencies. You can include, for example, a work list in your dashboard, which typically says what payments need to be approved by you as a corporate user of the platform. And you can really pick and choose what widgets you want to include here. If you don't like dark mode, we also have a light mode. If you think that 6 widgets is too much, feel free to include only 4. In this example, we've included an FX widget, so you can start dealing FX straight away out of the Cobase dashboard. And then on the left-hand side, you see all modules that are included in the platform. Again, the starting point for most of our clients is cash visibility. This is given here under the account reporting, starting at balances, but you really can drill down to the lowest level of individual transactions. Story continues for payments. Key use case for payments is the approval workflow. Typically, the platform would consume payment batches out of your ERP platform, and you organize the approval of those payments and the release to the banks in the Cobase platform. Now, of course, it can always be the case that you need to do an individual last-minute payment. Also, that is possible within the Cobase platform. We offer a GUI for introducing individual payments. Screens really look like you would expect them to look. You give the number counterparties, and the system includes intelligence that helps you decide what is the optimal payment format. After including the details, the payment is included in the work list, and it goes into the approval chain of your Treasury operation. FX, just very briefly, 2 slides about FX. It's possible to trade FX in the Cobase platform. If we look at the client base that we serve, most of them work on a multi-dealing level. So then in the European market, you'd be looking at one of the companies that's available here as well today, 360T. We have an API integration with them. You include the trade details, you get pricing back from the banks that you have connected to 360T, select the best price, and the trade has been executed. By nature, Cobase is a payment platform, so one of the big benefits of doing this is that you stay within the GUI, and you can also manage the settlements, so the actual payments of the FX flows out of the Cobase platform. Given time, one last screen I would like to show you in this demo, and that's about balance optimization. By nature, again, Cobase is about cash visibility and payments. If you combine the two, you can work on a cash pooling solution. In the Cobase area, we call this cash pooling, we call it balance optimization, and it's really a rule-driven engine that periodically looks at the balances at your pre-specified accounts, and if the triggers are triggered, then the payment is automatically initiated and executed. Payments that are automatically executed like this, they are tagged and they get a separate status within the transaction overview, so you can always recall what transactions were triggered because of this target balance optimization module. This is what I would like to show you this afternoon. I'm happy to take any questions for the remaining minutes that are available.